I'm going to call this part truth about myself. I know I said I'd stop doing these videos, but honestly at this point it really doesn't matter because we're kind of in for a penny, in for a pound kind of deal. Um, I'd like to start off with my money relationship. Uh, the issue with my shadow self and money is I view people who have money as evil, so therefore I can never be rich. That is just a part of my psyche. Once again, dude, if I ruled everything, if you were a rich fuck and you refused to pay your taxes or you do all the ridiculous shit people do in America to get out of your taxes, you'd get a bullet to the head. It would be considered treason to refuse to pay your taxes under my rule. You're going to, and you don't have a fucking choice. And, uh, to me, money represents safety and power. It does. Uh, People don't know what it's like when you can't have health care or you can't have any of the basic necessities. And I argue even the church leaders at this church who are terrified of being poor, literally that was explained to me, they are terrified of being poor. That it represents that in their minds too. To take somebody's money from them is to take their power. Which is this is why there should be a divine source deciding who gets it. There are some people that just don't deserve it. Probably anybody that's part of a human trafficking ring, for that matter. Yes, I'm calling you out again. Why I hate myself. I failed to protect my family when I was a kid. Because I am a failure. I am a liar. I am a manipulator. I am a trickster. I am all the bad things that I go on and on about. I, just like anybody else, when the punishment for accountability is disproportionate, I back down. Because one, it doesn't align with my own personal values. I do not believe in murder, by the way. Well, I do believe in murder. I don't know. There are bastards that need to be dead. That is a fact about life. That is not up for debate. There are some people who don't deserve to be alive. Anybody in this church does not deserve to be alive. That is a fact. I got others killed. I did. But in lieu of that, the way that works, in my mind, and this is going to be cold as shit, I am not responsible for the church's actions. They are responsible for their actions. The word is called accountability, okay? Something Anal Eaton Mummy God himself said. He hates agency and accountability because he's a narcissist. The same thing with Blondie, why he turned himself in and immediately got a perjury signed. And any of you that's working with Blondie, I demand that you ask him every day why he went and got that perjury signed. And I guarantee you he will make up an excuse and lie every time. Because he does not have accountability in his life. I'm learning disabled. I'm stupid. If I was smart, I could figure out Pro C. If I was smart, ifs are useless and stupid concepts, because ifs don't happen. Okay. I do my best work when people shut the fuck up and help me. That is a fact. When I was in high school, I was put in charge of a cardboard shared building team, and we built a great cardboard chair that outperformed everybody else's, and I designed it. Because I'm that good. I have great ideas, but people prefer to steal my ideas instead of help me with them. Because I think that this is that potential Anal Eaton Mummy God was talking about. You're really smart, but the issue is you have a learning disability, and you'll never be anything because of that. Okay. I'm fucking tired of everybody on the planet hitting on my learning disability. Oh, you're missing this one piece, so you'll never be anything. That is what everybody does. And to be fair, they're not wrong. They're not. But I could be something if people would shut the fuck up and help me. Here's the truth. about this entire dark event, the reason how I beat this church, is people helped me. That is a fact. People surreptitiously, behind the scenes, people I don't even know, probably got themselves killed, helping me. Okay, that is how I took down the church the first time. I believe some of my really stupid moments where I survived really stupid things, and in my stories I tell you how stupid it is. My shadow self recognizes on some level there were people secretly working on my side to make sure that I wasn't murdered because they believed I was that special and that unique. They believed that something the Belly Girl saw in me, that I could take down the church. Part of the darkness in your soul is recognizing when you simply can or cannot do something. And this is one of those things. If somebody would help me, I could take down the church a second time. I do not have the mental processing skills, abilities, or any of these other things to take down the church a second time. And I know that sounds hopeless, but here's the good news. There's somebody that can. Blondie. He can take down the church by putting me in prison. So, bring it on. I do not care anymore. Glory seeking and all this other stuff is the epitome of a child's brain. I loved and was fascinated with heroes, and I wanted to be one so badly. And when I reported this church and all those things happened, the only thing I wanted was to be that hero. And if you know anything about my life, whenever I win anything, somebody steals it. This is a truth from the shadow self. When I was in kindergarten, I won a golden pencil from a teacher, and that made you the golden student, and you're supposed to get a prize. She figured out that I was an N-word, and she stole that pencil and gave it to a cracker. When I was in the 5th grade, I was on the student council, and I was actually voted head of the student council, and I actually won it. People believed that I was a great leader. They stole it from me because 9/11 happened, and they thought I was an Afghan, and they had concerns about what other people would think if they let an Afghan lead. I was very active on the student council in 3rd through 4th grade. This is not a lie. I know it sounds like a lie because people meet me like, you were on the student council. I was also on the hall patrol also. I used to actively stop teachers and other people from running up and down the halls and write citations. Yes, I was one of those people because I wanted to understand the concept of goodness, and what I learned from the hall patrol is the justice system is not the justice system. There are those that will act with, honesty in the justice system, but there are those that won't. And that is why the justice system will never be the justice system. Think about Stu and his dumbass brother and them destroying evidence and using their authority as police officers to just kill people. Okay? There's nothing integral about what these people do. So that was stolen from me. The only thing I can think of, whenever I've had anything, other people, and look, they say the shadow self creates this, that something about my shadow self, just decides I don't deserve things, that it doesn't actually have anything to do with my skin. It kind of feels like it does, though. You know, it's that Captain America quote, it's not personal, it feels personal. It does. And it hurts. Because the reason I'm denied things is because people just decide at random after I've done the work. And this happened to me when I was in high school, by the way. I completed the regular education diploma. They wanted to give me the special ed diploma because they found out I was defective the entire time, screaming at me that I was lazy and I didn't work hard when I knew I was defective to begin with. Okay. And which brings me to my next point. People don't listen to me. I've said it a million times. Things go bad when you don't listen to me. Short story. Taco. We were at my neighbor's house. They had a dress-out cabin beside their trampoline because there used to be a pool where their trampoline was. He wanted to stick his head in there and look. They told him there was a wasp nest. I told him there was a wasp nest. I was like, whatever you do, Taco, do not stick your head in there and look. You're going to get stung. He stuck his head in there and got stung and then blamed me when I told him when I was just trying to help him from hurting himself because he's that goddamn stupid. Life is like that game Lemmings where all the guys are trying to walk off the cliffs and you're just trying to help them and they just walk off the cliff. And I think as a person, I just need to accept that everybody is just going to walk off that cliff regardless of my efforts. Or if I do help them, I guess to teach me a lesson, to prove to me that I made a mistake helping them, they're going to knife me in the back as many times as they can because my kindness makes them feel like shit. I don't believe that nice guys finish last. I believe that nice guys finish first. But the bad guy finds a way to cheat. And that's how that works. I guess this is just being honest with yourself. The closest I ever came to taking down the church, and this is really going to sound really stupid. You see, the reason why everything got messed up is I realized I was ignoring my own psychological needs. The Jewish guy, when he helped me in Georgia, once again, a time I almost won, but even the Jewish guy had his own agenda, which ended up fucking me over. That is what happened, okay? He said that the reason I wasn't doing anything was because I was punishing myself, and I couldn't see it at the time, and I know nobody likes hearing it, heavy metals, which is something I will probably never get over in my fucking life. Okay. This is why I will not marry any woman the church gives me, because I know they're gonna poison me with heavy metals. I will stab the bitch to death, before I let that happen again. Because these people are ridiculously stupid and they shouldn't be in charge of anything ever. In my world, I'd be like, oh, he's got control issues? Poof! Dead! That is how I would handle things. And it is because these people are that defective. And you're talking to somebody that loves psychology and used to believe that everybody could get better. Everybody could make something of themselves through just being a good person. Not hard work, through being a good person. If somebody wanted to clean up the beach, they met other people who wanted to clean up the beach, they could clean up the beach. But they could also make money cleaning up the beach. These things could be fixed, okay? People could have health care by being good people. The issue is bastards bastard, and there are too many bastards, and this is that Ahura Mazda shit. When there are more evil people than good people, when there are more bastards than good people will never win. That is a fact. Okay, because the bastards will make it impossible. So I bring this up. The closest I ever came to taking down the church was about a year and 6 months ago when I walked out there. When I messaged the FBI, still terrified because I still had aluminum in my blood and I had no way of knowing how much aluminum was in me, but I still had the courage and bravery to turn myself into the fucking FBI to lose this church its goddamn tax-exempt status, and once again, my sister stole it from me. So I cannot help the church in any way, because regardless of my efforts, my victory will be stolen from me, and it is stolen. I did the fucking work. You need to give it to me. That is how that works in life. But life is an unjust place. There is no justice out here, which brings me to my next point. The stupidest fucking thing on the planet. Integrity. Integrity is the dumbest thing I have ever heard of in my life. It is the most retarded thing ever invented. I want you to think about how these people go, I have integrity because I took an oath to the church and now I defend a massive human trafficking ring. I protect a bastard, and I protect every serial killer in America that kills people because of how they feel. Their emotions are the things that are important. When I was out there in the desert, I probably got a lot of people killed, but that is because they removed my unconscious mind, and I told the wives out there, you cannot remove my unconscious mind, it holds back the other guy. The other guy, without me knowing it, was the unconscious mind. I have a violent, stupid, angry, unconscious mind, and it is probably more violent, angry, and stupid than anybody in this church. And I will say that with all wholeheartedness, because I am the only thing that stops it. Okay? I do not give a fuck about anybody else in existence. I force myself to care about other people in existence. And I do not give a fuck about anybody else in existence because other people have demonstrated that they are garbage. I do not care about my own family because I know they're working against me because out of fear. Because they're pathetic. Okay? And I also, I guess, empathetic because I do not have the skills, resources, or abilities to do anything to help anyone. But the difference between me and them is I am now consciously aware of it. If I were to just shut down my conscious mind and let my unconscious mind take over, it would be the biggest regret of everybody in this church, and I cannot, in good mind, this is the bone hard truth. If this church gave me the $4 billion, I would spend every slaughtering every member of this church, and they couldn't stop me. Okay, because I already know how I would do it. And when I get like that and I think like that, you can't stop me. And in these guys' brain, yes, I can. My ego is so big. No, no, no. You would regret it. And I know in my brain that is exactly what I would do with that money. I wouldn't bother to go build my dream. I remember telling Anal Eaton, Mummy God, I believed in I wanted to create a church when I was a kid that created good people that would shut the fuck up and just help people. Because it is my nature to believe that when somebody follows their nature, that is the closest they can become in alignment to becoming their highest self. You innately know who you were supposed to be. It's when you're seeking external validation and love from others is when things get stupid. Okay? And that is what these people do. And that is why they murder any good person that comes along, because they go, that person's love, that's not fair, I do all the bad things. Blondie goes, I murdered 6 kids and 7 women, I deserve it, I did, I killed people, I'm a piece of shit, I deserve everything, I do, victim, when he's not the victim of anything. He is not the victim of anything. Okay. The fact that even the wives were working with him is one of the things that has driven me insane. Because if it was me, I would have been like, yo, we're married now? And then I would have just got him in a guillotine and strangled him to death. And then they would have been like, what happened? And I would say autoerotic asphyxiation. He wanted me to choke him to death. Because of who he is. Also, he said he wanted to turn himself in for poisoning Bobby and stealing from him. So you guys should probably get on that. I am the furthest thing from a hero or good person due to the fact that I have a shadow self. He is everything I'm not. And the truth of the matter is I don't know how it works. The Jewish guy talked about I needed to stop punishing myself and do the right thing. I tried to turn myself in probably the second time I came close to stopping the church for accepting the $4,000 bribe, and they sent an assassin out. Okay. Another example of somebody stealing my win. Every fucking time. And I will say this as a general fact. If I were to take down the church a second time, my victory would be stolen from me. I used to believe there were other ways. I used to say that Jesus could work any situation out to be a good situation. I'm not Jesus. I'm the furthest thing from that. Whatever prophet, whatever thing these people think I am, I'm simply not. I'm Bobby. That's all I've ever been my entire life. I've never been good enough. I've never been anything, really. And that's why it was so important to me when I did do something amazing. And I was disturbed, shocked, and disgusted when everybody on the planet refused to help me. And I would argue I tortured George Miller when I was president, that a big chunk of that was in the shadow self. And when I was out there being tortured, and I was being tortured by Jasmine and the other wives every fucking day, that is why I had such demented hatred of George, because I knew I was out there because of him. Because all he had to do was give me fucking money for goddamn chelation therapy, and he couldn't do it. And all we needed was healthcare, and nobody would fucking give it to me, even though I did a good thing. So if you take anything away from my story, the word is gratitude. The word is gratitude. Gratitude means be thankful and pay it forward. I don't. And look, Blondie's gonna save the church. He's gonna steal my glory, put me in prison, and spin some narrative about how he's this moral hero when he's the furthest thing from it. That is a fact. Yeah. I might do a second video.